What we wanted to do, didn't have you and Paul on, didn't have Brandon and Tyler on, and then have them back. We're going to take some calls, and we're going to do it Facebook. That sounds real. How do you spell his name? What was he texting me about? Oh, well, that's nice.
Y'all got about 45 seconds.
Oh, this is good.
I rarely get, like, when I told somebody, we've done 200.
Yeah.
30 seconds.
You know how that feels, right?
20.
Okay, this is good. Very good. How about that now?
15. 10 seconds. Stand by.
I got shakes.
5, 4, 3.
Good afternoon. I'm Cookeville Mayor Ricky Shelton.
And I'm Putnam County Mayor Randy Porter. This is our community update for Thursday, May the 14th. Well, that's not correct, Mayor. It's Wednesday, May the 20th.
May the
isn't it?
20th.
So maybe
It is kind of like Twilight Zone.
It is.
Right now.
We lose the days there. Sorry about that. Our COVID-19 virus numbers as of today at 2 p.m. are 310, which is 24 more than yesterday. Of the 310 cases, 143 of those have already recovered. So let's break down our numbers. Since Monday, we have had 70 additional positives, which is not good. It should be a strong reminder to you that the virus is still out there and people are still contracting it. We've been trying to prepare you for this the past couple of weeks. As the governor's restrictions are removed, more people are going back to work, retail stores are open back, restaurants are open at 50%, people are getting out more, so there are going to be more positive cases. One of the reasons there are more positives is we are doing more testing per capita or per our population than most counties in the state. At the Putnam County Health Department alone, 5,163 people have been tested since March when the testing started. I know the state's website does not show that yet, but those numbers can be delayed several days. Using our 2018 census data, which is what the state is using to compare by, that means we have tested about 6% of our population, which, as I said, is more than most other counties I looked at. Just for an example, per the state's website number, Shelby has tested about 4.8%, and Davidson has tested about 4.7% compared to our 6%. Mayor, let's talk about why all the testing.
Well, I mean, it's important for the testing, obviously, because if you have it, it needs to be found out that you have it.
That's
so
right.
you can stay home. You can not infect others. You know, we've said all along, you should act like you have it, and everything you come in contact with may have it as well, or may be on that. So that's why we've talked about the washing of the hands and sanitizing and all those type of things, because it could be anywhere. And so I think that's evidenced by the numbers that are
The
going
numbers
up.
of the positives. And I think you agree that the more people we test, the better off we are. That's the way
Sure.
to slow down the spread of the virus is we find those folks that are positive and that have it, and we get them quarantined. And from talking to the health department folks, most of the people that are testing positive right now have no symptoms whatsoever and are shocked to find out that they've tested positive.
Well, and that's the thing that makes it tough, because you can have it and not know you have it. Therefore, if you have it and you don't know, you're spreading it, or you're putting it on things for other people to come and touch. You know what? 85 to 90% of the people that get it will not be affected, maybe at all. They'll have it. they won't really have the effects from it. But it's that 10%, the vulnerable population that have comorbidities, whether it's diabetes or cardiovascular disease or some type of respiratory disorder or obviously an immune system disorder, that would really be affected. And so that is what we're trying, and everyone should be trying to protect against.
Right, and it's all about doing your part as a citizen in our community to take on that personal responsibility, not only to protect yourself, but protect all your fellow citizens in the community, because there are folks out there that, should they get this virus, may not be like you, where you may not have any symptoms. It could cause them drastic health concerns or maybe even death. So
I think it's important to note what you said too about the per capita, because you can't just compare, because I've received a message, our numbers, we have almost as many positives as Knoxville. But again, you have to look at, and we've actually asked for this data, we haven't received it all yet, but the total numbers that have been tested in each of the locations, and then you divide that to get a per capita number. Obviously, you share one of those is that ours is at 6%, one of the highest in the state of as far as numbers that we are testing. And that's important, because the more we test, the more that people that are tested, absolutely the more positives are going to be found.
And one of the reasons we're testing so many people in Putnam County is because of Cookeville Regional Hospital opening back up for elective procedures and surgeries, and the folks are required to have a test before they can have that procedure or surgery. So we're seeing about 50% of the people that are coming to the health department to be tested are some of those people, and they have no clue that they're positive and have no symptoms.
And not all, so our hospital opened elective procedures back up right when they were allowed to. Some hospitals didn't, and so again, we're glad that those elective procedures are happening again. People need that. That is very important for our regional medical center to be doing those again. But to get that, they do have to be tested. Again, some hospitals in Tennessee are just now opening those things back up.
Right, and we're not trying to make light of the numbers in any way, shape, or form. Our numbers have went up pretty dramatically in the last few days, and it's due to us doing so much more testing.
But we have to provide clarity too, because if you just say the numbers, it is shocking. It's fearful when you have that. But if you provide some clarity, but the bottom line is it's out there, and you need to take precautions that we've been telling you about.
And those people that have tested positive are now self-quarantined. They're not able to spread out in the community. So we want to get as much information out to you as we possibly can, and be as blunt honest as we can with the information, so you stay informed as the best as we can.
Yep.
If you want to be tested, our drive-through testing continues to be available at the health department on County Services Drive, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's free. All you have to do is you stay in your car, you drive through, they test you, takes a few minutes, and then within about 24 to 48 hours, you will have the results to those tests. They are testing anyone that wants to be tested, regardless of where you live, and also a reminder that the test is free. Please remember, though, just because you test negative today doesn't mean you can't get the virus. You could still come in contact with someone a day or two after you took the test and contract the virus. So testing is only good for the day that you have it done. Although we are hearing of some local places that are doing antibody testing now. That's available in Cookeville. You can probably check some of that out on the internet. We're seeing some of the medical practitioners that are doing the antibody testing now. So that will tell you if you've ever had the virus or not. There's also another reason, Mayor, for our increased number of positives, and we're going to be very blunt again. There's a large group of people out there that are being very lax when it comes to social distancing and wearing a mask in large crowded areas. Yeah,
I think we part of this big influx of numbers is in the 18 to 30 age range, and so you're not invincible, and you need to be respectful of others. You need to be respectful of those older than you that could be more harmed by this.
Well, and that's the key, is those younger people may not even know they had the disease or may not have any symptoms, but it's them spreading that to their mom, their dad, their grandparents, their neighbors, their friends that may have health conditions or may be older and be more susceptible to having major problems with it. So it's all about personal responsibility. And making sure that you're doing the right thing and making sure you're being a part of our community and doing what we need to stop the spread of this. So even though you may feel fine and you don't think you need to wear a mask, it's all about protecting the other people that you're going to be around, especially in large areas where you can't do social distancing.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to go to a place with a whole lot of people, it's probably it's smart to do that. I mean, you don't have to, obviously. That's we see the outcome of that, and I've been to some places and see a lot of, there's probably 1 in 10 wearing one. Certainly your choice, but we're describing to you what is being recommended. And, in a large group, it's smart too, because you don't know, the larger the group, the more likely it is that someone there has it and don't even know they have it.
Or you have it and you don't know you have it and are spreading it to everyone. So the mask is to keep from spreading the virus in case you are positive. That's why all of our restaurants, barbers, beauticians, and retail folks are wearing masks to keep from infecting you in case they have the virus and don't know it. This all comes back to personal responsibility and wanting to be respectful of the citizens in our community. We're talking about the age group. Mayor, remember when we were young, we thought nothing's going to happen to us. We're invincible at 19, 20, 25, but it's all about protecting the other folks, our older population, and our folks that have health concerns. So please, take this serious and do your part. Do the social distancing, wash your hands regularly, and wear a mask if you're going to be in a large crowd like big box stores, Walmart, Sam's, and Lowe's, and those kind of places. This, along with testing, is going to be the only way we're going to slow down the spread. Also, the state health department's disbursement of free face masks continues. If you would like a mask, you can go by the Putnam County Health Department, located at 701 County Services Drive, from 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. daily, and pick up a mask. And you can also just drive through the drive-thru, and they will give you a mask. The other counties in the Upper Cumberland that have confirmed positives are Cannon 13, Clay County has 6, Cumberland County has 94, DeKalb County has 32, Fentress County has 9, Jackson County has 13, Macon County has 93, Overton County has 18, Pickett County has 2, Smith County has 29, Van Buren County has 4, Warren County has 16, and White County now has 22. As you can see from those numbers, almost all the counties in the Upper Cumberland over the past few days are seeing increases in positive cases. Yeah. Again, Putnam County has 310 confirmed cases as of today at 2 p.m., which is 24 more than yesterday. Shelton?
We try to be blunt about everything we are finding throughout this journey. Likewise, we've been candid in saying that as businesses reopen, there's a significant risk and that numbers will rise. Obviously, that's what we're seeing now. But there are many significant risks if we didn't open things back up too. It's up to all of us to open our economy and do it in a safe way. Remember, you still have the freedom to choose. You can choose to shop there or not. You can choose to eat there or not. If you don't think it's safe, or you don't want, or you want to avoid crowds, then that's exactly what you should do. Don't go. You have personal responsibility to make good decisions for you and your family. Use common sense so that you can protect yourself and your family. If you are sick, please stay home and don't infect others. The fact is, we all still have freedom. You have freedom to choose. You can still choose online, curbside, or takeout service. City Hall and all city facilities are now open, except Heart of the City Playground and Dogwood Park Fountain. And those will be announced at a little bit later time. We'll also have an announcement about Red, White, and Boom, our annual 4th of July celebration later this month. There will be some changes to that, but we're going to have a celebration here July 4th. So now let's get an update from Cookeville Regional Medical Center and CEO Paul Korth.
Thank you, Mayor Shelton. Thank you, Mayor Porter, for allowing us to be here today. Again, let me give you an update at Cookeville Regional Medical Center. Today we have 5 inpatients with positive COVID. As the mayors did mention earlier, we are testing more individuals. We are testing all patients that are coming in for a surgical procedure. We really appreciate the health department helping us with this and working through some of this. There have been a few positive test cases of those people that have been asymptomatic. So again, the testing is working. Those individuals that are getting tested, we're doing that for several different reasons. We're doing that for the safety of the patients. We're also doing that for the safety of our staff, so we know somebody either has it or doesn't. We want to reassure the community that Cookeville Regional Medical Center, as many hospitals throughout the state, have taken many new precautionary measures to make sure that patients and family members are safe when and if they need medical treatment. So if you need medical treatment, don't feel that you cannot come to the medical center. Don't be afraid. Please come to the medical center because it's very important that your medical conditions are being taken care of on a timely basis. We've put many new protocols in place. As probably people have been into the facility recently, you'll notice that all of our employees in clinical areas are wearing face masks. All of our employees in public areas are wearing face masks. Some of our employees, when they're in offices, yes, they do take them off. But when we are in public areas coming in and out of the building, all of our employees, all of our physicians are wearing masks. We think it's very important to continue to do that. Again, it's for the safety of our staff. It's for the safety of our patients. And we are trying to do those to make sure that we do not continue to spread this COVID disease and illness that is attacking our communities. There are many hospitals in the state, as the mayor's mentioned, that are not testing and not testing as much as what we are here in Putnam County. We feel it's very important to do that to be able to manage and handle those individuals that we're taking care of. I want to thank our staff and our physicians and our employees for their diligent work over this time period. This has not been an easy task by any means, but our staff has done an outstanding job. As of today, we have not had one positive case where a patient or an employee has transmitted that to one another. So all of our protocols that we've put into place, all of our use of our personal protection equipment, it's working. The things we're doing at the medical center are working. We are not spreading it over at the medical center. I know I've had many calls and many questions about visitation. Our visitation policy is going to remain the same as it has since the beginning of COVID. We still are not allowing visitors into the medical center unless you are with a child or with an elderly individual that does need a helping hand. And all those are reviewed and looked at on a case-by-case basis. But we feel that's very important to keep those numbers down, keep the spread of this down, and the way to do that is limiting the contact of individuals. That's the update we have today. Really appreciate you allowing us to be here. And if anybody has any questions or concern, we're always available at the medical center to help answer those questions. Mayor Porter, thank you.
Thank you, Paul. And we appreciate everything you're doing at the Cookeville Regional Medical Center and all your staff for the great job that they've done being on the front lines of this. Now let's share an update from State Representative Ryan Williams. I think the governor put out some new info right before we came on the air. Ryan, do you have an update for us?
Thank you. Yes, thank you, Mayor Porter, Mayor Shelton, for the opportunity to be here today. The governor did issue new guidelines today in regarding the Tennessee Pledge and the Economic Recovery Group. Some of those guidelines include enabling attractions in large venues to open. I think, as you and I discussed earlier, Dollywood's already saying that they're going to be opening really soon. But all these new large venues will still be required to practice social distancing like we've talked about today and have certain protocols in place in order to protect those patrons who come to their communities. The Tennessee Pledge new guidance also is going to include information about those, not only those large contact areas, but other places like the movie theaters and auditoriums and large venue places, museums and zoos. There are going to be new ones for that. The good news, too, is that even though there will be still some 6-foot spacing between tables at restaurants will begin to continue to relax those measures, but that doesn't mean that we should relax.
Right.
I think we need to continue to tell people, as we've seen here in Putnam County, the vast majority, if not almost all of those people that have tested positive have no symptoms. Right. And so that is a good thing, but it also proves the point that we need to make sure that we all pretend as if we're COVID positive so that we can protect those at-risk communities in our own community. And so I think that's really important. I want to also tell you that you can also go on my webpage, and I know later you'll be able to go on the mayor's webpage. It tells a little bit more about Tennessee Pledge and these guidelines as they come out. The more that we relax state government as it relates to this oversight, if you will, the more difficult and detailed the information is probably going to be. And so we want to encourage not just your businesses to do that, but individuals. There's a sense of personal responsibility that we all achieve here, which is what you and the mayor were talking about earlier. We want to make sure that you practice these guidelines and respect the other businesses that are out there trying to enforce these guidelines and still provide for their families and their communities and safety for their employees. I also want to continue to communicate with the Upper Cumberland about the challenges associated with unemployment. Hundreds of emails since we started doing this. I've been getting hundreds of emails. The good news is that we're seeing the dam start to break, upon the not to bad expression there, but in this instance, we're starting to get people through the system a lot better. More and more people. The governor's added hundreds of new employees. And so we're hearing back from people now that their unemployment benefits are starting to get through. It's really important. We just encourage you to send us an email. It's probably the best way to do that. We can forward the information on more readily, but feel free to always call my office or email so that we can get you that information and get you the resources that you need. All of these guidelines, these new guidelines that the governor released today, will not go into effect until May the 23rd, after May 22nd. So be patient with those businesses that you come in contact with the next few days. It is a holiday weekend, and so everybody's going to be wanting to get outside. We want to encourage you to do that. As we said last time I was here, you and the mayor said, getting outside, exercising, getting in the heat, living, as Teddy Roosevelt said, the strenuous life is really important about what we do, and we want to encourage people to do that. I also want to just take a moment for those people that are listening today, just to commend the mayor and the county health department, Paul Court, Cookeville Regional Medical Center. I think one thing that gets lost in this is we truly are leading the state. The reason why we have more positives, we're literally leading the state, this county is, in the total percentage of people that are getting tested. As we discussed, 4.5% or better, maybe in Metro Nashville, where the resources are much greater. We're exceeding 6% of our total population. So by nature of testing that many, we're going to find that more people have it. So we want to encourage people to continue to get tested, antibody tested, and be a good participant in our communities. On a side note, I think it's really important. I was speaking with Mayor Shelton earlier. Every year, I think for 10 years now, the Williams family has been participating in something called the After Dark Movies in the Park. We were wondering if we were going to be able to do this because of social distancing and working with Cookeville the City of Cookeville Leisure Services Department, Rick Woods, Chad McDonald, and Matt and all the guys over there. We are going to be able to do that in June this year. There will be social distancing measures in place for the movies in the park, and those movies are free to you and your family. You can come. You're going to practice social distancing. It's an outdoor movie in the Dogwood Park, and so we want to encourage you. Something our family likes to do to bless our community. And there'll be 4 blockbuster movies, all in the months of Fridays in June at dusk. So we want to encourage people to do that, so we can get back to community and get back to who we are. And so we're really excited about that. But also, once again, doing it safely. And so appreciate the opportunity to be here and to update your community. And we'd love to answer any questions that people may have. So feel free to contact my office.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank
we
you.
appreciate it. We appreciate what you're doing to keep us updated on the state level. Mayor, we've got some good news to talk about today.
That's always good.
It is. Happy to announce that our tornado cleanup is now finished. The crews finished yesterday. There is still a small amount on Highway 70 out in the county, out in Putnam County in the rural part. TDOT will be picking it up next week. They're responsible for Highway 70, but our cleanup crews from Custom Tree are finished. And they have left to go back home. We will be having some small ditch cleanups and so forth over the next few weeks as we go forward, but the major part of the cleanup is completed. I know we want to say a special thank you to everyone that took part in that. We had thousands of volunteers that came in, hundreds of businesses that donated equipment and their employees and their time to make this happen. There is no way without you this could have been possible in such a short amount of time.
And the great partner organizations that came in, Servants of Christ and
Team Rubicon, Samaritan's
Red Cross,
Purse, all those folks.
Yes.
We've had a humongous turnout.
Salvation
we live in
Army.
such a great community.
I know if we start naming stuff, we'll leave people
We'll leave
off,
somebody out.
But there were a lot of great organizations that came in, spent lots and lots of time here.
They did, and I know the COVID-19 slowed things down, after it got in full force, but we still had a lot of folks that still turned out and practiced all the CDC guidelines, and we were still able to do the cleanup. And hopefully now, once the cleanup is done, we can continue to recover, heal, and start the rebuild process.
Yep.
So we're very thankful to everyone that took part in that. On another good note, since it's 2020,
We're one of the best
In the whole
responding in the whole state, and so we ask you to help us with that, and you all have responded. So that's great.
absolutely, thank you. And we're leading the region and one of the top in the state.
I think, as I counted, we were like number 11.
I think
maybe?
so, in the whole
right
state,
at number
so-
11 in the whole state for.
We'd like to be number one.
We would
So
in that
wh-
category.
Yeah, so while you're, if you got time off or over this holiday weekend, take the time if you have not turned in your
5 or
census
6
form.
minutes.
Yep, go
Fill it out online.
If you don't have internet, you can call. They have an 800 number. Also, you can just mail it back in like old times.
You can.
If you want to fill it out by hand and mail it in, just as long as you get it back in. We sure appreciate it, because all of our numbers that come from the federal government and the state when it comes to revenue are based
Road
on the
money,
census.
school money, all those type things are based off census.
We had a good time today. We had a surprise donation to our tornado relief fund.
Absolutely. The Nashville Predators came up and presented us a check for our tornado survivor and victims for $50,000. So that was quite a blessing, and we appreciate that partnership.
Well, I think we're over 2.3 million now.
Mhm.
We've already put out about 2 million of that to the survivors.
Yep.
Went directly to them. About 452 families,
Right.
I think, so far. We still got a few more to go, as there's a few came in late, and there's donations are still coming in. We have a goal, I think,
Right.
Of getting that out sometime by the middle to the end of June, the final
Correct.
disbursement.
And that'll be the final disbursements and the final acceptance of donations for those tornado victims.
And 100% of the fund is going back to those folks.
Absolutely.
So we hope that it helps in a small part. And we want to say thank you to the hundreds and hundreds of organizations and thousands of people that donated. Some people, I mean, every dollar counted, from $1 up through
Large.
donations with our grocery store.
Food
chain
City,
that's coming in.
300
Food
and-
City,
yeah.
391,000,
Yeah.
almost 392 that they brought.
You know what was neat too, and I don't know if you've had a chance to look at some of those, but a lot of folks sent, beyond sending Randy and I cards and letters and messages, a lot of people, when they sent their donations in to Bank of Putnam County, included it a letter or a card.
Right.
And I was given those day before yesterday, and I just took a few minutes last night to read through those, and it's very humbling to see. And if you haven't had a chance yet, I know I handed them to you. You're going to read them too.
Yeah.
But to see what people say, whether they had a connection to our community in the past, or they knew someone, or they just saw it on TV, or they had a tornado in their community that affected them, and they appreciated the kindness shown toward them in the past, and so they wanted to help our community and didn't know anything about us other than that there was a devastation here, or whatever the reason was. And anything, there was a note from someone that had sent a $10 donation, and there was a note from somebody that had sent a $25,000 check. So it's literally biblical, that it doesn't matter what the size was, that it was so important, whatever that was, and the importance to the giver.
Yes.
As much as to the recipient. And it was very heartwarming to read those. It really was.
The response that we had from not only our community and across the state, but
All
across
over
the country,
all over the country.
has been absolutely unbelievable. And we thank you so much for all your donations, and just know that it's gone out to those tornado survivors, and the rest of it will be going out shortly. And
As we said, 100% of it
Yes.
will be going to the victims, and that's our survivors, however you want to say that, and 100% of it will be.
absolutely.
All right. So, as we close today, let's please continue to utilize precautions to protect yourself and others, like we've talked about. Be kind to and supportive of one another. Wash your hands. Utilize physical distancing when you do go out, and assume everything you touch may have the virus on it. Make reasonable, educated, common sense decisions. As we said, you don't need Randy or I or any government official to tell you what to do or what is best for you and your family. You have personal freedom and responsibility. We will all get through this together. For the most up-to-date COVID-19 information, links, and resources, you can visit bettercookeville.com. Continue to pray for our country and choose faith over fear. God bless.
And as we keep saying, as the mayor has said, and I say too, we will get through this. But there's a key component. Everyone has to do their part. It all comes down to each one of us taking that personal responsibility and making good judgmental decisions. But unfortunately, right now, some are not doing that. The virus is still here, folks, and people are still contracted in it every day. So we need to do everything we can to stop that spread. Mayor Shelton and I will continue to do the live updates to keep you informed. Our next update, due to the Memorial Day weekend coming up, will not be until next Wednesday, May the 27th at 4 p.m., unless something urgent should come up before then. Let me say also a special thanks to WCTE, all their technicians, Becky Magura and everyone involved. Also to our Putnam County Technology Department for making these daily updates possible. If you could see all the work that goes on in the background to do this, you'd be amazed. And I want to say a special thank you to all those folks for everything you're doing to help us to get this information out.
And our folks, the radio
Absolutely.
as well.
Stonecom, Zimmer Broadcasting are
They're
carrying
live-
these live
live-
updates
absolutely.
for us. So thank you to everyone that's making this possible. Please continue to keep us as your community leaders in your prayers along with our country. May God continue to bless Putnam County.
Okay.
Good job, y'all. That's good. Another good one. Y'all should do more ag living, so your teleprompter user would know where you were.
Yep, you didn't put the wrong data for her.
I'm just as,
Come in one day.